Thank you, Minister. Does the New South Wales Government acknowledge water licences as a property right as per the co-aid agreement on the Strategic Water Forum, the National Water Initiative and the 2012 MDB Intergovernmental Agreement?
Yes, that is the law.
That is the law. Excellent. So then, does the government then accept that any changes in rules or operational conditions, such as a drought of record that reduces the reliability of those property rights, must be compensated accordingly?
Yes, we do, as I indicated, recognise that the law is that a water licence is a property right held separately from the land, and that as a property right it needs to be dealt with in the same way as other property rights.
Meaning that if something hinders the reliability or the value of that property right, then...
There is a legal framework for the way that is managed in relation to water licences, and obviously we support and will be adhering to that legal framework.
Okay. So if the connectivity report, as indicates, sets up a process for water recovery for the environment, will owners of that water be compensated appropriately, regardless of how much water is recovered under that process?
Well, I would say a few things. One, you've walked a few steps ahead of where we're at and posed a hypothetical. I just really want to reiterate, Mr. Banasiak, that we haven't even completed the modelling work that underpins potential reforms under the connectivity panel. We will be doing that, and we want to get that work moving. But there is a long way to go from where we are now to the hypothetical that you have posed. However, and I have said this repeatedly, if there are any changes to people's entitlements to water as a result of that work, after consultation is done through the proper mechanisms in our rules-based framework, through water sharing plans, then yes, the provisions in the law in relation to compensation will of course be applicable.
Okay. So if I take some steps back to where you are now, in terms of the modelling, how you haven't even set up the process yet for modelling, or you're going through that process?
Yeah, so the hydrological and economic modelling, we have commenced some work on that.
And that's all done. That's all been done internally. No consultants doing any of the economic modelling at all, or
No, the department's doing that work,
Yeah.
and we will have completed it by the end of the year.
okay. And is there a specific funding amount for that modelling to be done?
it's within existing
It's
resources.
in existing resources. Okay. And to be done by the end of
2024.
2024, and then it will be shared with the public.
Yeah, I mean, it's our intention to make it public. We have nothing to hide in relation to this. The draft report of the connectivity was made public. The final report was made public.
Am I right to assume, in terms of the economic and hydrological, you'll be doing a lot of consultation with irrigators who hold water licences as part of that?
If we need to do consultation to inform the basis of that modelling, we will. We want to make sure that modelling is robust and accurate.
I guess consultation is probably the wrong word. Will you be actually seeking input and data from them in terms of how much water they use? What's their economic output from the use of that water?
If it's required to ensure that the modelling that we do is accurate, then yes. We don't want to waste time doing modelling that is inaccurate and not accepted by people who are part of this process.
I guess in terms of economic, how else would you get access to that sort of modelling if you're not going directly to the farmers and water holders to say how much of does this water equal in terms of economic production? How else would you get that data if you're not going directly to
Well, I mean, there are other measures of economic activity and output per region than just asking producers in that region, but I accept your point that they may well have useful information to contribute. And as I said, I don't want to waste time doing work that people who are then part of this process are going to turn around and say, well, we don't even accept the fundamental basis on which you've made decisions. That's a waste of time. I'd rather bring people into the process so that everyone can accept the ground rules.
Thank you, Minister. That's our 5-minute speed dating round over.